Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're located. My name is Dorothy Dalton, and today we're going to continue our series of struggling and juggling in our career management program. And we're going to talk today about how to identify your transferable skills. So today, this is your brief agenda. We're just going to do a recap on what we've done to date, so you bring you up to speed. We're going to introduce a new tool called the CARS formula, which is going to help you identify your transferable skills. I'm going to talk to you about being fabulous so that you can share your success without the fear of bragging, because a lot of women hate that. And I'm going to show you how you can transfer that to your LinkedIn profile and your CV. So for anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Dorothy Dalton. I'm the CEO and founder of 3+ International, and I work in executive search, coaching, HR consulting, and training. And I specialize in helping organizations have gender balanced and inclusive, diverse workplaces. But I also support individuals as a career coach, helping them to reach their potential. So I'm hoping that this session will be of value to you today. So first of all, let's get back to some basics. Now, at one time we used to say there were jugglers and strugglers, but today with the pandemic, what we're seeing is that people are both struggling and juggling. And never before have we seen such a spike in depression and instances of mental health issues. So it's really, really important that you take charge of the things you can take charge of, and that will help you develop and advance your career. Now, one of my favorite management gurus is a gentleman called Simon Sinek. And I'm going to play you this short video because it's about finding your why. So let's hope this works. I'm going to play it for you now.
One of the most difficult questions we ever get asked is, what do you do? And we usually tell people what we do. I'm a manager at, some widget company, and nobody really cares, because nobody cares what you do. And so we're supposed to answer the question with why we do what we do. And that just takes practice, again. So let me give you a couple of examples of how it worked. I found myself at a meeting once. It was actually a social event held at an organization, and I was talking to one of the guys and telling him about the stuff that I do, and he says, "You've got to tell the boss." And I said, "Okay." And so he walks me over to the big guy, and he doesn't even make an introduction. He just leaves me standing there and walks away. And the guy turns to me and goes, "Who are you?" Now, if I wasn't starting with why, I'd say, "Hi, my name is Simon, and I have a consultancy, and I speak and I teach, and I'm an author, and I go through all the things that I've done and all the people I've worked with and maybe some of my clients, all in an attempt to tell him who I am and why he should listen to me." But then he would have just sort of pointed to the chips and said, "Nice to meet you," But I didn't say that. I looked him in the eye and I said, "I wake up every single day to inspire people to do what inspires them. And I know that your company is trying to increase the amount of customers it's getting in one particular sector, and the question is, are you inspiring people to do it? Because the only way people will give you loyalty is if you inspire them to do so. I teach leaders and organizations how to inspire people." And that's all I said. I didn't tell him what I did. I didn't tell him who I knew. I didn't tell him any of my clients. And he said to me, he looks over to me and says, "Do you have a business card?" And I handed them a business card, and I told them all the details later. Don't forget, a why doesn't close the deal. It just opens it. It allows people in. It gives context. All of these things need to work together. Why you do what you do, how you do things, and what you do. I don't for 1 second believe the why is more important than any of the other pieces. It's just the place we have to start, and it's also the place we so often forget to even include. So learning to start with why really is, especially in a business context, when you're interviewing for a job or pitching your services to someone, it really is remarkable. I get so many letters from people, all excited that they went into a pitch or they went into a job interview and they started with why, and they were so excited that not only did they get the job, but the person who hired them actually said, "We love ... and they repeat their why back to them. They don't talk about their qualifications or any of these things. In other words, it really does drive human behavior. And the more you get good at it, the more you start to feel and see the results of starting with why.
Great. I love that video. And I think one of the things that I want to emphasize is that your why is going to be behind everything we do. So I'm going to show you how to identify your transferable skills. And this is going to help towards your why. So what is a transferable skill? Transferable skills can be defined as skills developed in one situation which can be transferred to another. That is pretty much makes sense, right? So let's talk about the two different types of skills. So hard skills are learned and measurable, and I describe these as the bricks. Okay, these are the bricks of your career. And soft skills hold them together, right? And hard skills without soft skills means that your hard skills will not be stable. So it's like building a wall, a dry wall with no cement. So it might be, if you're a specialist, that might be fine, but today everybody needs to have soft skills. And I've said this to you before, the World Economic Forum have identified the 10 top skills for 2030, and 8 out of the 10 are soft skills. So we need to focus on those and how they hold the bricks of our hard skills together. So this is how we're going to look at them. So let's look at soft skills first. Leadership, communication, time management, prioritization, delegation, attentive listening, team building. So all of these are really important, and obviously creative thinking. So let's now look at the hard skills. And we've got research, data analysis, project management and delivery, P&L, market research, sales techniques, forecasting and budgeting. It could be HR, it could be recruitment, it could be advocacy, if obviously, or public affairs. It could be any hard skill associated with your job. And hard skills are learned and measurable. It also covers your training, your academic background, and your languages. So transferable skills are in your success, okay? So these are the way to go. So this is what we call the CARS formula. It's the challenges, the action, results, and the skills. So the challenge is what problem are you solving? The action is what action are you taking? The result is what result did you achieve? And then obviously the skills come in after that. And normally after coaching people I've coached thousands of people, and generally your transferable skills, they're what I call a string of pearls. They're literally, they wind their way through your career and you can connect them. Okay. Now the challenge, it could be, what was your challenge? It might be to increase the success of a better product into a really tough market. It might be to scale up a business. It might be to increase the efficiency of the HR function. You will have a challenge. Okay. And it's about the action that you took, whether it was market research, contacting potential customers, making a pitch, service follow-up. Maybe it was establishing relationships with stakeholders. So all of these are really important. And the result, what was the result? Maybe you closed a deal or opened up a new market, you hired 10 staff. It could be that you increased the profitability. It might be even that you closed an organization, but you did it without any damage to the brand or impact to the community. There are all sorts of results in the things that you do. And then here are the skills. Data analysis, the cold calling. It could be verbal and written communication, closing techniques, negotiation, relationship building, prospecting. All of these are your skills. And if you take a story, one story from each part of your career, and what I like you to do is to take 3 for each role, and then you look for the pattern. And it could be other skills like adaptability, flexibility. It could be navigating ambiguity. It could be learning how to work remotely. It could be managing a team. It could be all sorts of things. But I would advise you to have a list of about 10 to 15 skills. And then when you make a job application or you making a pitch, whatever it is you do, you select the skills that are relevant for that particular opportunity. You don't throw the kitchen sink at everybody and give them everything. You make sure that anything you do is targeted and focused. So the other thing that's really important, and this can be a gender trap, metrics. These are your numbers. If you can't measure it, you don't mention it. And it might be that you ran a budget of millions. It might be you led a team of 30. It might be you scaled a business. And quite often women are working in non-P&L functions, soft functions, and they say, I've got no metrics. That is not true. If you have organized a conference, for example, a lot of women are in the event management marketing department. It might be that you've organized a conference for 2,000 people. You might have had a budget of €1 million. Euros, dollars, doesn't matter. It might mean that you have developed relationships with very senior business leaders, politicians. I've known people who've dealt with presidents and cabinet ministers and leaders of Fortune 500 companies. This means that you are establishing relationships with really important and busy people. It is worth doing. And, you know, if you're issuing press releases, how many people were reading that? If you're running social media, how many followers does your account have? There is very rarely something that doesn't have a way of defining the scope. So really dig deep and look that up. Now, here's something that women hate to do, right? They hate to brag. Say, oh, I don't like to say that. I don't want to be all boastful and braggy. But use this formula. It's what I call be fabulous, okay? And it's the facts, the achievements, and the benefits. And you are not bragging, you are fabulous. So if you just tell people what you did, what problem you solved, the impact that you had, you are not bragging. You are just giving the facts. So you're not saying, I'm an absolutely wonderful salesperson. You're saying, I opened up a new market for a new project of €1 million or $1 million. That is just the fact. Okay, and then you let people decide, you know, whether they think $1 million is a substantial number. I've worked with women who will be very humble, and it turns out they're running budgets of billions. So really make sure you get your numbers in there. And all of this contributes to your unique selling point. Okay, so your unique selling point is where and how do you add value and what makes you special. Now, where can you apply this? You can apply it to your CV and your professional summary and success stories, 3 for every role. And the same is on your LinkedIn profile, in your summary, in your about section, which is now 2,600 characters with spaces. Once again, I like to see 3 success stories for every role. Sometimes in your early career, that's not possible. If it goes way back years and years ago, just let it go. But even then, you can always put, what did you learn? Okay, so you will find something to write. Now, the most important thing is that you use your hard skills. And the reason for doing that is particularly when you're writing a CV or your LinkedIn profile, hard skills are searchable, right? So you talk about being an accountant or a marketing director or a project developer or whatever it is, your hard skills. And as I said, that learn and measurable. What you don't do is use your soft skills. And I think I've given this example to you before. Have you ever seen a job advert for someone who is not dynamic and lazy? So quite often I see people put their dynamic and hardworking. It is a given that you are going to bring energy and work hard in any situation. That does not mean to say that you work too hard or you have a breakdown or burnout, but it is given. So you just add your soft skills in to add flavor. So once again, this is where you're building your wall and this is the cement. So to summarize, Use the CARS formula. It's great. Some people use stars, which is exactly the same thing, but just pretty much backwards or different. Same principle. Don't be afraid of bragging. Use the Be Fabulous formula. Use it on your LinkedIn and CV. And then you can also, when you perfected it and drilled it down, and we'll talk about that in, I think it's the next section, about how you can bring that into your networking. So please go onto the 3 Plus website. You can look for our Power Word List. All of these will help you strengthen your CV and your LinkedIn profile. You can check out our e-gazine. If you go onto the website, we've got our e-gazine. We have daily updates or twice a weekly updates, and we also have a once a week newsletter with tips and tricks related to your career. So make sure you visit the website. And this is me signing out. And my name is Dorothy Dalton. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. Check me out on Twitter. I can always be found there. And I look forward to hearing from you. And next time we're going to talk about building a strong network. Thank you. Bye-bye.